The Crucifixion of Jesus, a rabbi's perspective on the necessity of sacrifice. Welcome to today's video, where we will delve deep into the crucifixion of Jesus Christ and its significance in the context of Judaism. We will explore the concept of sacrifice in the Torah, examine the absence of hell in Jewish teachings, and try to understand how a rabbi might explain these contradictions. So buckle up and let's dive into this thought-provoking topic. Section 1. Sacrifice in the Torah. In the Torah, sacrifices were an essential part of the ancient Israelites' religious practices. These sacrifices were typically animals, such as bulls, goats, and lambs, offered to God to atone for sins or to express gratitude. However, nowhere in the Torah is there a mention of human sacrifice, let alone the crucifixion of a Messiah. Section 2. Absence of hell in Judaism. Judaism has a different perspective on the afterlife compared to Christianity. While Christianity teaches the concept of heaven and hell, Judaism focuses on the idea of the world to come, Olam Haba, and the resurrection of the dead. In this belief system, there isn't a place of eternal punishment like hell. This raises the question, if there is no hell in Judaism, why was Jesus' sacrifice necessary? Section 3. A rabbi's perspective. A rabbi might explain that Jesus' crucifixion was not a sacrifice according to Jewish teachings, but rather a part of the Christian narrative. The concept of a Messiah in Judaism is different from that in Christianity. The Jewish Messiah is expected to be a human leader who will bring peace, rebuild the temple in Jerusalem, and gather the exiled Jews. The idea of a divine savior who would die for humanity's sins is foreign to Jewish thought. Section 4. The dying and resurrecting God figure. The concept of a dying and resurrecting God figure is a recurring theme in many ancient religions and mythologies. These deities often symbolize the cycle of life, death, and rebirth, embodying the changing seasons and the natural world's regenerative processes. Osiris, Egyptian mythology. Osiris, the Egyptian god of the afterlife and resurrection, was believed to have been killed and dismembered by his brother Set. His wife, Isis, gathered his body parts, resurrected him, and conceived their son, Horus. Osiris's resurrection represented the eternal cycle of life, death, and rebirth. Tammuz, Mesopotamian mythology. Tammuz, also known as Dumuzid, was a Sumerian shepherd god who died and descended to the underworld. His lover, the goddess Inanna, mourned for him and eventually brought him back to life. Tammuz's annual death and resurrection symbolized the agricultural cycle, the death of crops in the dry season, and their rebirth in the rainy season. Adonis, Greek mythology. Adonis, a beautiful youth loved by the goddesses Aphrodite and Persephone, was tragically killed by a wild boar. However, he was resurrected and allowed to spend half of the year with Aphrodite and the other half with Persephone. His story represents the cycle of life and death and the changing seasons. Attis, Phrygian mythology. Attis, a vegetation god, was believed to have died and resurrected after being driven to madness by the goddess Cybele. His annual death and resurrection were celebrated during a festival known as the Hilaria, symbolizing the return of spring and the renewal of the earth. These examples illustrate how the theme of a dying and resurrecting God figure was widespread in the ancient world. It's possible that early Christians incorporated elements of these myths into their narrative of Jesus' crucifixion and resurrection, making their message more relatable and appealing to the diverse cultures they sought to convert. This blending of religious ideas allowed Christianity to resonate with a broader audience and adapt to the spiritual needs of different communities. Thank you for joining us on this fascinating journey to understand the crucifixion of Jesus from a rabbi's perspective. It's essential to remember that different belief systems have varying interpretations of religious events and figures. By exploring these perspectives, we can foster a deeper understanding and respect for one another's beliefs. If you found this video insightful, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more thought-provoking content. Until next time, stay curious and keep learning.